Cool. Hey guys. Hope it's connected. We have some technical difficulties that we've just been working on. So, my name is Mushiru Mudau. I'm the Community and Partnerships Manager at Yoco. And really, we've done Yoco Meets for the past 2 years where we connect with entrepreneurs, small business owners, creators, and people that are building things that matter. And we've done these events mainly to connect founders to each other, business owners to each other, and entrepreneurs to each other. And through that connection, try and build really, really meaningful relationships that can lead to amazing things happening, right? So whether you can get a collaboration going or something like that. So Yoco Meets is really about connecting, engaging, and exchanging as much as possible. And I think we really want to try and make this work in a virtual sense. It's never happened before. So we really, really are trying this. This is our first time trying to do this. And I'm super excited to see what the results will be. So there's a bit of a comment section running on the bottom right of your screen. And really what we want to use that space for is just to try and connect and engage about the things that are happening, right? So I think just to start off with, I see everyone started to introduce themselves, which is really, really amazing. So I had already commented that I'm from Joburg. So obviously I work for the Yoco team as a community and partnerships manager. I think what would be really, really cool is to find out where are you from, what's your name, what's your business's name, and also what you do. If you can put that in that small caption, that's perfect. Cool. So please just start filling in that, just to say who you are, what your business is, and what you do. Just a small, quick bite of seeing, just so we can get a sense of who's here and see whether or not you guys can start collaborating in that small box through that engagement. Just find out what other people are doing and learn more about what they're doing. So what we're going to do today is really have a session with 3 different entrepreneurs, and we're going to have a Q&A with everyone together right at the end. And we're going to speak to different entrepreneurs about the things they're building, the struggles that they face, and the challenges that they have. So it's a really, really great experience in terms of learning from different entrepreneurs in different areas, different industries that are doing really interesting things. And we can try and connect and learn more from them as well. So there's 2 sections right at the bottom. There's an ask a question section, as well as a polls section. This is separate from the comment section that's right on the edge. And what you can do is there's a poll that we have running, mainly just to find out how you're doing. How are you feeling? It's a very challenging time for entrepreneurs. It's a challenging time for entrepreneurs, for small business owners, and it's going to take a lot of strength and guidance and resources to get through this, and we really committed to trying to do that. So we're going to use this platform to do that. So once you've done your intro in the comment section, just vote on the poll. So the options are, the poll is very simple question: how are you feeling? Right? How are you feeling? Three answers: I'm okay, I'm as good as can be, I'm not okay. Whichever one you feel most honestly represents how you're feeling, please vote. So this is just part of how we're going to engage and really start off on a really good fit. So just to get started, we're going to have an interview with Busi Mavunga, who is a really, really incredible entrepreneur, and she just did her intro in the comment section there. So she runs Inclusion, which is really a platform for entrepreneurs to learn more about the sort of support that is available to them and the things that they want to do. So it's really, really cool to see you guys just, flooding that comment section. Just give an intro of what you do, who you are, and what your business is. Because I think it's a really great way for you guys to really connect and try and leverage off different opportunities. Because this is a platform really for entrepreneurs to connect, and we're trying to build out this thing to become, to make it easy for you to find each other, right? And we're gonna get, okay, cool, we're gonna get started. Hey, Busi, how you doing?
Fine, thanks, Mashudu.
How are you feeling today? That's one of the polls. Did you vote?
I'm feeling good, ready for this.
Okay, cool. So just to get started, I think it would be really cool just to have an intro from you about who you are and what you do as well.
Cool. So hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Busi Mavunga. I run a company called Love Tea Time. I import different teas from Kenya, and I sell them on different platforms, pop-up markets, e-commerce, as well as retail stores. And what I've also done is I'm a payments lover. So I love digital payments. I love the fintech industry. And I've managed to tell a payment story, but using tea to tell that story. So bringing together a food proposition with a fintech proposition and kind of birth what I call inclusion, which is all about the passion of driving financial, digital, racial, cultural, age, and gender inclusion across our country.
Yeah. I always think of you as not just being, an entrepreneur, but also someone that's really, really keen to help entrepreneurs and connect with entrepreneurs. What's been your experience of how entrepreneurs are feeling right now? And also, what sort of thoughts do you have around what entrepreneurs should be doing to adapt to this, reality that they're facing right now, and what small businesses could be doing to adapt to it?
So I think everybody is going through mixed emotions. There are winners in this game. There's also losers. So there's a lot of happy people, and there's a lot of sad people. So first of all, it's a real struggle going through this lockdown. I think a lot of businesses have lost out on a lot of revenues. And unfortunately, certain bills have to be paid. So your landlords are still wanting rent. ESCOM is still wanting you to pay for electricity. So those are things that we can't deny that are part of the struggles of running a business. On the flip side, there's also the businesses that have been able to digitize that I think, are reaping the benefits of investing in digital infrastructures, be it being on e-commerce platforms or being a digital business in their own respect, are kind of the winners in this game. I think it's also just about us to remain positive and to be resilient. And I think that's one of the characteristics we have as entrepreneurs and that we grow along the way is pure resilience. And it's also about being agile. So if you've been doing something in a particular way, you can't have the comment of, but this is how we've always done it, because it's not going to work. It's now about us being agile. It's now about us questioning our business models, but also refining our business models. So I'll use Love Tea Time as an example. So I mentioned that I import the tea. I started the business by selling at various pop-up markets. But pop-up markets are not happening in this lockdown. All the gatherings of plus 100 people have been closed off, which then means all the pop-up market transactions that I had have now become non-existent. So in that respect, I haven't been able to sell the tea at markets. Customers have not been able to taste the tea that I am selling or serving. So in 2018, so the second year in business, I actually went on to Takealot, and kind of that's where my e-commerce strategy started. And the nice thing is that tea is an essential good. Everybody has tea. You have tea with bread, tea with biscuits, and just tea at any time of day. And investing in e-commerce at that early stage of the business, I'm now reaping those seeds that I sowed in the early stages of the business, because as an essential good, I'm still able to trade. So customers are still able to go onto a platform like Takealot and buy tea. Why? Because it forms part of groceries. So my advice for small businesses who have a product which is consumable, that get onto those kind of platforms. It's not the only one. There's so many others. There's One Deal Only, there's Net Florist, Faithful to Nature, etc., etc. So Uhuru Shop. So get onto those e-commerce platforms and invest in e-commerce. I also think there's also technologies like Yoco that has implemented, which I saw on the app recently, which is about sending a payment link. One of our struggles, or the struggles a lot of entrepreneurs are facing now, is cash flow, flat cash flow. Everyone's like, I'm being owed money. People aren't paying me money. How do I collect this money that I'm being owed? So if you look on that Yoco app, I think you guys introduced a send a payment link, which now you're able to send that payment link to like your debtors so that they're able to collect payments. You know what I mean? So again, it's a cash flow thing that institutions like this fintech have kind of introduced. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs are going through the most right now, but I think it's an opportunity for us to be innovative. So if you're doing fresh produce and you don't want it to, go off, how do you change fresh produce into something else? So if you were selling full avocados, make guacamole, spread or something like that. So it's those kind of things that I think we must just think about, and also look into collaboration with the different businesses that are out there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got two questions. We'll go back to my questions. I think there was a lot there.
Yeah, like I was like, went on.
So it's really good just to have that range of things that I think a lot of people can start thinking about, which is mainly, how do you get onto digital platforms, speak to your customers, connect with the customers that you want to buy your products, and also be able to facilitate those payments. So there's two questions. The first question is how to make people pay online without using a card system. That's something that you've mentioned. But what I will say is, please follow the Yoco pages. It will be really beneficial for you next week when you find out about something cool. And then the second question, I have an online website established. Want to sell products online? Could you recommend a courier company that's affordable? Okay. So what's really, I think, really challenging for a lot of small businesses right now is really the cash flow issue, right? How have you really gone into that issue for your business specifically to try and manage that?
So, first of all, the selling on e-commerce platforms is really awesome in that respect because the product is out there, the customer goes off, clicks, and adds it into their cart. And so, like I mentioned, I'm on Takealot, so they settle me every seven days, so I get my money. So in that way, my cash flow is in a good state because I'm being paid on a regular basis versus chasing the invoices. Things like partnering with, if I get a courier company who's able to then deliver the goods for me, I get the customers to either EFT me the money or use some sort of an e-wallet type form, or you can even ask like the courier company to be able to swipe when they drop off the goods. So it's like a card on delivery versus a cash on delivery. So I think it's also trying to be very getting our monies up front rather than the chasing of the money, because it's a lot of work chasing invoices. Because at the end of the day, if you add up the telephone calls you send and make, the emails that you send out, at the end of the day, if you add it all up, you might as well have given a customer whatever it is for free. So I think cash or / card or digital is king, and the getting your things paid upfront will really, really help with cash flow. That's the first thing. Then secondly, I think it's also about being creative. So and also cost conscious. So I rent out a storage facility, and I was paying like 1,500 rand per month, and it was a big space. But now I realized, and I repacked my things properly, and I reduced my storage space just to be tight enough, but to still accommodate all my things. And I was able to reduce my storage cost to 700 rand a month. So now I was able to make a saving. So I think this lockdown is also an opportunity to look at those cost line items. Where can you reduce? Which are the easiest things to reduce? And just be more practical about how we run our businesses. That will really help with cash flow.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lucy.
Cool.
So I think we're going to catch Busi later on. We're going to have a Q&A session with Busi as well as the other two entrepreneurs to really connect and get things going. Cool. So Busi, I'm going to let you enjoy the comment section because there's a lot happening there. And then we can later on.
Thank you.
Cool. So thank you so much to Busi. So you can still ask questions in the Ask section at the bottom, right? So there's a Ask a Question section where you can just click on that and ask the questions there, right? So we don't want the questions in the comment section, but we would want them right there in the Ask a Question section. So what we really want to find out is what you're struggling with, what are the things that you're thinking about, what are the things that we can help with, right? So really having those questions answered is a really, really great way for us to gauge what you guys are feeling, what you guys are thinking as well. So there's been some amazing entries for the intros, which is really amazing. I think the second thing I really want you to do, right, is just answer the question of what can Yoco do to support you better, right? So answer that in 3 lines. I see some of these intros got really long out of nowhere, but just answer that question. How can Yoco support you more? How can we help you more? Please just check. Just put that in the comment section and keep answering those questions. So with the poll, it's been really, really great. I see most people are okay, which is the best thing ever. I think that's really good. I think people are starting to adapt and move. So people are starting to adapt and really understand the challenges that we're facing. So we're going to move on to our next interview. Gabelo, who will be chatting to us about his business or import, I'm not sure. But we're going to get one of them on just now. Please ask questions. I think this is a really great way for us to connect with as many people as possible and understand the things that are happening. So it will be really, really cool just to see the things that you want to really ask and really want to learn from the entrepreneurs that we have here, as well as from us. So again, in the comment section, how can Yoco support you best? And then ask many more questions in the Ask a Question section. And we'll get back to the polls later on. Hey, Gabriel, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it, brother? I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. So to start with, just introduce yourself as well as the business that you run.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Gabriel Otsuka. I'm from the East Rand, Davidson. I run a brand called Retrofontaine Apparel. It's a streetwear brand inspired by the 80s and 90s street culture. So basically what we do, we take the 80s and 90s street culture from America and the Western part of the world, and we fuse it with African prints and the African cultures. So basically we're trying to give it a local look and feel. So the aim for the brand is trying to tell a story, the African story, through streetwear. So that's basically what we do. Yeah.
So how would you say the current, lockdown has affected your business and how things have run right now?
For me, okay, the negative side of it, okay, it has affected me badly in terms of, because what we provide is not an essential service, so we had to close down. So I tried to look at it in a positive way. I took this and said to myself, no, you know what, let me just sit back and just look at my business and go back to the drawing board and check how I can improve my business and how I can actually take it from one level to the other. Because in a way, this gives us a time for us as entrepreneurs to actually look at our businesses and check, it's okay, how are we doing? How can we improve? How can we grow? So for me, I didn't take it in a negative light, but I just took it as a positive to say, no, you know what? Let me just look at my business and see how I can improve it.
Yeah. So are you now starting to think about just possibly starting an online store to help to be able to trade in times where you can't meet your customers physically? And also, how comfortable do you feel running an online store versus the physical store that you have now?
Actually, we in the process of actually launching our online store. We've been putting it off for years now. Now I can actually see that I should have done it a long time ago, but we're actually in the process of launching our online store. It's in the pipelines, and we're very comfortable with it because it's one thing we've always wanted to do, but we got scammed once by some other IT guys, but online store is the way to it's the way to go. But yeah, that's why we were kind of putting it off and actually focusing on what we were doing on the store. But now we're gonna have a physical store and an online store, because just in case this comes back again, at least we have an online store where people can purchase online.
That's amazing, man. So so how do you feel like you can really get started straight after the lockdown and what's going to happen, post the lockdown? Are you still speaking to customers just to keep in touch with them, understand their needs and how they may be feeling right now? Like, how's that going right now?
So with me and my team, we kind of created some sort of coupon. We have like a coupon, so you pay up front for whatever you want, and then when the lockdown ends, then you can get your stuff. And then we're getting orders. Some actually came to my house and risked this lockdown to come fetch their stock. So yeah, but other than that, we're working on that coupon. So some people have paid upfront, and some will actually pay when the lockdown finishes.
Sure. So how has it been going? Doing with the coupon system. So I've seen a lot of small businesses try to do this, especially overseas, where they're going. We can't give you the product right now, but our business needs to survive. So we'll take the coupon up front, and then after everything's sort of gone back to whatever normal looks like, then they can actually deliver the product. Has that been a really interesting way to get things going for you?
Yeah, it has, because most of my customers, they trust our brand. So from the time we started the brand till now, we've created a trust. There's a trust between us and our clients. So most of them, and whoever buys the coupons, really trusts the brand. So they do not have any problem or any issues with that.
That's interesting. Like I'm really happy that there is that trust, right? And I think entrepreneurs should be doing that, mainly because I think if you've built enough of a brand and like a really incredible business, I think a lot of people will want to support you and make sure that you're okay. And I think a lot more entrepreneurs should be asking for help and looking for more ways that they can also engage their customers and stuff like that. Cool. I think we're almost done with Cabello. So there's a lot of questions on the side, which is really good coming up. So what do you feel like small businesses need to be doing right now to really, really make sure that they're okay after all of this?
As I said, just prepare yourself. Prepare your business for when the lockdown is over, or for when the corona is done, so that when you come back, you've prepared yourself enough. Whatever you were doing wrong, you've rectified it, and you're actually gonna do it and be more efficient for everything.
That's amazing, man. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna let you go, and then we'll get you back on for the full everyone on there, and then we can engage there. Cool.
All right, cool.
Cool. We're gonna get you back after we do the next poll, right? So thank you so much for adding the questions. Really, really good to see that there's a lot more people adding those questions. So those questions need to go into the ask a question section. These are not necessarily just in the comment section. So please add those questions in the ask a question section. And then secondly, we have a second poll running, right? So the second poll is very quick, very simple. Who has applied for the relief funding, right? So there's a lot of entrepreneurship organizations and different efforts from the government to support small businesses right now. And all those facilities are really available to as many entrepreneurs as possible, and small businesses specifically. So if you have applied for the relief funding, please just add your answer to the poll that we have. So if you have applied for the relief funding, please put that in. It's really good to see you guys engaging in the comment section. Really cool. I think that's amazing. I'm seeing email addresses, which is amazing. I'm seeing people having conversations about how to connect with each other. So I think that's going to be the next part of this, right? So please, just in the comment section, just say what you would like to exchange and what you feel you're struggling with. What is the thing that you are struggling with and you would like to exchange with someone else? I think that's a really great way to build the connections with the people that need what you may have. And also, it's a great way for you to find some people that might have what you're struggling with. So now we're going to chat to Umbo. How you doing, Umbo?
I'm good. Thanks.
So we had a chat yesterday on the Yoco business check-in, and it was really good to hear, different things that you may be facing in your business and just how you may be tackling them as well. Just to start with, how do you feel, you have adapted to this new reality and what's happening currently?
I think every day is different. You just need to go one day at a time. at this point in time, I'm really just focusing on strategy. I think that's important in terms of what would the new normal, everybody's talking about this new normal, what will it be like and how do you adapt your business? Because, we do SWOT analysis and we never think about how we actually put them into practice. And this pandemic has literally put us in that position where we actually have to consider the threats, the opportunities, what the weaknesses were in our businesses. So yeah, I mean, for me right now, it's just about strategy. What does my business look like going forward,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I actually missed something. Please introduce yourself.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mashuru. My name is Mpho Palane. I'm the owner and head creative of Food I Love You. And Food I Love You is an experiential catering company. And we've also got a private dining studio. So we really focus on food that brings people together and connecting. I think that's quite important in our business. And just really keeping it simple and wholesome all the time. But it's just the human connection is the most important to us.
That's amazing. So, in yesterday's conversation, someone did mention, they had, I'm hearing a baby.
Literally, I'm just like,
These are the joys of working from home. These are the joys.
Exactly.
Yesterday when someone asked, what can they do as a catering company to be able to deliver services right now? And you had some really great advice on that. Can you please just share that just for everyone that may not have checked into that first session? I think it would be really great for everyone to learn more about the options that exist.
Okay, cool. So, there is, you can apply for a permit if your business is classified as an essential business. So I think for me, I was shocked to see how quickly that thing happens. I thought applying is you put an application and you wait for days. You literally complete all your details as long as your CIPC information is up to date and your payments, etc. You put in your details and then you select which category you fall under. And that's it, literally. And then you can download the permit and there you go. You're ready to go. So I was suggesting where possible, you obviously do deliveries to your customers, door to door, because I think that's the only way right now we could reach people. And then another thing where not possible, because I saw a question earlier, somebody asking in the hospitality industry, if you're not able to try the whole e-commerce route, what can you do? I think in this point in time, it's time to actually connect with your customers and your consumers. So send them messages, emails, etc., just to let them into your world and let them know what's happening for you on a day-to-day basis, and how once your business is back up and running, you can actually connect with them and they can assist you. There's so many ways. I suggested also, possibly if financially you're quite strapped right now and maybe don't have access to funding the traditional route. Sorry, Sedi. I'm sorry, guys. The traditional what a mess, eh? The traditional way. I mean, you know what? Your customers, your clients know you best, and they've invested in your business. So I think where possible, you can also reach to some of them who can help you, perhaps give you an upfront, somewhat loan, and then somewhat loan. Okay. A loan of sorts or something, and then you can basically render the services at a later stage. So I think if where possible, you should try that.
Yeah. Don't worry about it's okay. Completely understand. So how are you trying to keep in touch with your customers as you build out these people and food and dining experiences like Victoria Yards? Are you speaking to your customers just to let them know, hey, this is where we at, this is what's happening? and how understanding are they about what's happening and how it affects whether you can deliver on the product?
I think, for me, like I was sharing yesterday, I touched more on the emotional part of, what the effects of this virus have been on us. So I think we all have been kind of talking about it, but it's our reality, and I mean, like, as the engine of your business, you need to be of sound mind and be okay, so I think that's what I was trying to delve into, because you go onto your social media platforms, etc., and everyone is almost putting up this we need to be okay kind of front, and I was just like, guys, let's just talk, let's be for real. Like, if you're not okay, let's talk about it, and I think I opened up about my reality, where I think I went into this period with Nana. Okay, let's have her on camera. I went into this period. I literally, yeah, I'm gonna have to do this thing, because I try to find where they weren't there, and they found me. They found me. So yeah, I'm even forgetting what I was saying, but I think so. It took me a while, and I'm at that period now where I'm okay, like your poll is asking, are you not okay, etc. I was going through the different phases, and only now am I starting to be okay, and I'm just like, okay, cool. What does okay look like for me? Let's get me okay first, in order for me to then start working back in, on my business and like what my business needs of me. But I wasn't mentally okay. So now that I'm working on it, and it feels a lot better that I'm talking to people, I'm sharing. I'm actually reaching out to a lot of my customers. I mean, even now over this period, it's Easter. I sent them most of them like messages, just to wish them a happy Easter over this period with family. Because I mean, Easter is family time, and you want to let them know that you are thinking about them the whole time. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much. I think just put it on camera. We've got some advice.
This is Mercedes here.
Okay, so guys, we've got the last poll. So we're just going to add everyone onto screen so we can have our question section now. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much. So we're going to have everyone on screen for the last Q&A.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're just going to add everyone. So thank you so much for everyone that's engaging on the side here. I've seen a lot of people going, the questions, a lot of emails going around. I want to understand what's happening, but at the same time, I'm just going to let you guys do what you feel is best. So I think what we can try and find out. So we've got one last poll, just by the way. So the last poll is, what phase is your business on? Right. So this is the final poll for today. What phase do you think your business is on in terms of taking on this new challenge that everyone is facing? Where do you feel you fall? Right. So the question is, are you still reacting? Right. Are you already adapting, or are you already innovating? Right. So I feel like the entrepreneurs we have today really are in different stages of that, and really evolving and adapting to that reality and trying to find different ways to make it work. So please just fill in those three polls that we have on there. Mainly, we just want to understand how you're feeling, the first one. And then the second one, are you already applying for different things? So whether it's a relief fund, whether it's resources from government, or resources from any organization. And then the last one, what phase is your business on, right? So are you reacting, are you adapting, or are you innovating? So in the comment section, let's do this. Ask any questions that you may have. It will be super, super cool just to learn more about what you guys are doing to innovate and to adapt to this new reality, because I think we really want to get as many thoughts and ideas around this. So please add your thoughts, your ideas in that section, and we can work from there. So just to start off, the biggest question that I think that I saw pop up a few times is really on the payment systems, right? So I wasn't sure if I was allowed to speak on this, but I just got an assurance that it's fine. So Yoco has recently launched a payment system, payment link, which allows you to be able to go onto the Yoco app and you'll be able to see the link for you to send to any merchant or client or customers that need to pay you for a certain service or product. So go onto your app, just update the app, and then you'll start to see that option being as a payment option on there. I also think just pay attention to Yoco's pages next week. There'll be amazing information around some really incredible products that Yoco's been working on to support everyone during this time, but also post that, right? So there'll be a whole lot more information about how that payment system works and how you can actually get customers to start paying outside of just having a card reader in presence, right? So we'll have a lot more information on that, and you can just check out the Yoco pages for that. Cool, guys. So really great to see you all together. So the first question, has anyone been able to claim for the relief fund or resources that government is putting out? If you haven't, please say why. If you have, please say how, okay? And then the last thing, also, why are you actually applying for these things? So please just share your journey. Do you have thoughts around those products, and do you feel like other people should be using them?
Okay, so I personally haven't applied for the relief funds. So for example, like even the UIF component that's been offered, because I don't have a huge employee base. I'm kind of a one-woman band, and it's varsity students that come and work for me like on weekends just to get work experience, etc. So there hasn't been a huge need for me to apply, and I also feel like there's businesses that really need the funding much more because of like the employee base that they have on their books. So that's my justification. So yeah, I think Kabelo, you're next.
Yes, I have applied because my store is primarily like I get customer. The primary source of income is the store, and it had to close, so I lost a lot of money. So I thought maybe it could help. It can help. So I'm not sure if when will we receive the funds and stuff, but yes, I did apply.
What's happening here?
Myself, like I was mentioning, I was just going through a whole lot of emotions, but it is something that I'm applying for, and more importantly because I think initially I didn't have like quite an understanding of it, and I was just like checking out what I was seeing, online, etc. But I think I've done enough of my research now, and I think I'm ready to apply for one of the relief.
Yeah, so just looking at the comment section, I think it's very similar stories, right? So something from Jacqueline. Unfortunately, I can't apply for the relief fund as I work alone and don't qualify for the criteria specified. Do you guys have thoughts around the sort of support that you're asking from different organizations? If you are asking those questions, right? So like, are you going to different entrepreneurial organizations, or even just like your mentors, anything like that, to really ask about how to navigate this time, and sort of what sort of support are you guys looking for as well?
Mommy.
Anyone that can go.
For me, I've been speaking to my mentor, and I think at the point when I was speaking to him, I was very much focused on how can I assist like my community and like just other entrepreneurs who are like more micro, if I can so put it. But I mean, at that point, he was also like just letting me know in terms of like just the different businesses that are getting involved in assisting. But yeah, I don't know if I'm answering the question, but I mean, like I am asking the questions, and if I do find that maybe I might not really qualify or might not get the funding, my next place to go to is literally the corporates and stuff that I work with. I think they can also put their money where their mouths are.
ESD programs.
Yeah.
So is that the support you're getting, Busi, from entrepreneur support
No, I was
programs?
just echoing Mpo's sentiment, and I think her saying that she would go to the corporates that use her services. Maybe this is the opportunity for corporates to put the money where their mouths. Put the money where your mouth is. And if enterprise skills development is what you are preaching, or corporate social investment, then I think now is the time for these institutions to rise. And I'm not saying that they're also not struggling themselves. So we must be cognizant of that. But I think they still have much bigger pockets than small businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Are you applying or asking for different support from organizations?
No, I think it still relates to my first answer. No, not at the moment. But if the time comes, then yeah. But I think for me, it's more introspection and reflection, and how can I rejig my business model, and kind of having to apply being like the last thing. It's like, even when I started the business, I never applied for funding to start the business. It was pure savings from the salary. Instead of going for cocktails with friends and spending 500 Rand every single dinner, you kind of put that money aside and invest into starting a business. So I think it's still sticking to that kind of mentality or mindset in terms of going through this process as well.
Yeah. Cabello?
Well, with me, I just applied for just one in one organization, but besides that, it's like what Busi is saying. I'm also on the introspection. In terms of my business, I'm checking my business. How can I improve it? How can I grow from here? It's not just about the funding and all the other stuff, because as soon as the lockdown finishes, the business still needs to run. So let's say if you don't get that funding, what happens is your business going to close. So what we're working on is just introspection and just getting to know our businesses better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say we did build a platform at Yoco. Mainly, it's just a page that gives all the breakdown on all the resources that are available for entrepreneurs. And it's really, really helpful for you guys to just have a look at that resource. So it's a page with everything from the different relief funds that exist, how you can apply for them and be able to access them, as well as other resources that we feel that you should be looking at and sort of research. So I'm looking through the questions here, and this is a very interesting one. So I own a business, have been operating for nearly 6 months, and with COVID-19, it has affected us badly because we are a one-on-one service industry. So how best can I advertise my business other than Instagram and Facebook? And and then the last part is mainly for me, which is does Yoco have a platform where we can advertise or regain clients? So I'll start just from a Yoco perspective. You can list your business on our support small page. So we have a page where small businesses, we have a directory where small businesses can add themselves on there, advertise their services and say what they do, and be able to show the world what they have to offer. And then in terms of everything else, my thoughts are really around possibly using Google, which is a really, really great resource for people looking for your services and stuff like that. So if you can check out the Google Digital Skills, which is a really great online course that you can learn digital marketing skills and how you can market your business online. And then secondly, just check out the Facebook Blueprints course, which is really a way to navigate how to set up an online page, a Facebook page for your business, and also how to run ads as well. So those two, I think, are really, really, really great resources. So we'll just try and add those resources in the comment section firstly, the business directory, but also secondly, the resources that we have in place for entrepreneurs to be able to access different resources that exist to help them through COVID-19. So again, the question, we are a one-on-one industry. So how best can we advertise our business other than Facebook and Instagram? What are you guys' thoughts?
So I get that they're not maybe big fans of Facebook and Instagram, but I think we mustn't disregard them as very interactive and having a captive audience right now. I think more than ever, everybody is on their phones. Hence, the internet is very slow in a lot of parts, because literally everybody has internet, is on internet. And I think it's an opportunity to market our brand's product or service during this period, because it is a captive audience. But I also think it's about being very creative in the things that we do. I was looking on Twitter, and there's so many of these don't rush challenges that are happening. So how do you, let's say, as a service business, be able to advertise? And it's also an opportunity to collaborate. I think I saw one in terms of wedding planners, like all these wedding planners who clearly contacted each other and said, hey, let's put a wedding planner don't rush challenge video together. So they're in a services business. People aren't getting married or having big weddings, but they're able to still get their brands and products out there. I think Ash was also on questions and asked about how do we advertise luxury services to consumers who are probably frugal during this point of time. And it's also maybe an opportunity to even run competition. So for example, like I've ran a little tea competition where people just send photos of themselves with a cup of tea, and then they have to be creative and put words ending with the word tea. So it's a bit of creativity and a cup of positivity in the mix of things. But it's just trying to keep society positive and trying to market the brand. It's all about brand awareness, but just being creative and speaking to the captive audience we have.
Cool. Anyone else want to answer this?
I think they mustn't sleep on social media, because I think that's like the cheapest way to advertise your business. Because just now you're gonna go to other platforms, they're gonna find that they're more expensive, and they're gonna end up losing more money. So I think for now, social media, they should use it to the max as much as they can, because everybody's online now. I mean, there's so many live parties, everything. Everybody's here, so they shouldn't sleep on social media and the internet.
Yeah.
And the good old-fashioned phone call. Just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone. How are you? How are you and your family doing? You know, it matters. It matters, eh?
Yeah, and I think just to add for that, and like what I alluded to in earlier, that I come from a very payments industry and being able to tell the fintech story, but using tea as a story. And a platform that has actually worked very well for me is LinkedIn. And I think now more than ever, it's also an opportunity to build professional brands. Is which are the people do we want to communicate whatever product or service that we are targeting for? So for example, I'm in payments. So when I tell my story, I write about how many boxes of tea I sold and how many people used paying cards on Yoco and paid using QR, or tell how many people have bought tea on Take-A-Lot, but didn't say how many boxes, but I'd be like, I served X amount of cups of tea through e-commerce. And then you tag the people that head up these departments to get yourself out there, because you never know what opportunities that will unfold. And it's a platform, captive audience. We are a global economy. So now you're talking to everybody and not only the people that are in your community or country as well.
Cool. It's really interesting. So this platform allows people to also give their own answers, which I really, really appreciate, right? So it's really great to have you guys in. It's really great to also get everyone else's answers. The question was, how can businesses that do not have, such as businesses in the hospitality or service sector, survive this lockdown? Like an answer that I thought was really interesting was from Jack. I have 2 markets in Pretoria. I had to create an online shop for the one market in order for the vendors to sell their products to help them create an income during this lockdown period. That's amazing. I hope that, Jacqueline, please add the link to this online market. I think it would be really more small businesses having access to things like this. Some more interesting answers we got. Please give me a moment. So here's another question around cash flow, right? Which is something that I think is a massive challenge for most small businesses. And we do this report on a monthly basis that shows that cash flow is a really big issue. And we've sort of seen this in different trends and stuff like that. But here's the question. Speaking of trust with clients and managing cash flows, how many of the businesses here have negotiated payment terms with suppliers so that they don't lose on the. So what different things are you doing in terms of managing your cash flow and stuff? Give your thoughts around that.
So for me, oh, okay. Sorry.
No, pause going.
Okay.
No, please go.
What's that? No. I was gonna answer that. For me personally, I really. Oh, can I talk?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
For me personally, I really don't like owing my suppliers because it goes to relationships, and when you need them the most, they're always going to remember the time where you didn't pay on time, etc. So I was very fortunate just before the lockdown, etc. I had done like one big event. So my first thing that I did, I made sure like even the suppliers that I've got like 1 month kind of agreements to pay, I paid them at that point, so that what it gives me relief is that like at any point I have a view of what is the pocket of money the business is left with, over this period, so I can actually plan. But yes, I think to have an ostrich kind of approach to things where you dig your head in the sand doesn't work. You need to let your suppliers in terms of how things are difficult for you, and let them come in and help you where possible, and then work out some better terms and say, if I can't tell you in the foreseeable future how soon I'll be able to make money, but I mean, you'll be priority the moment it does, or at least like let them know that you're currently trying to look at other avenues of getting some sort of relief, etc. I know like my landlord offered us a payment relief, like a loan of sorts, but it also came, I think some people might have already been like, oh no, we're not going to pay, but which is not the right way to go, because at the end of the day they also have their own expenses, so it's important to just keep the communication lines open. People understand, they know exactly, we're all in it, and we're just dealing with this whole thing at different levels. But it's important to communicate and just let people know, because I think anyone is able to say, okay, cool, you know what, we can only help you this, this far, etc. Over this period. Yeah, but communication.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lucy?
Yeah, no, I think I echo her sentiments. It's because if people don't communicate, then we're going to be sitting on assumptions, and you're going to think that everybody is right, is okay. I mean, so it's important to communicate. I mean, the other day I saw an article. Even the big retailers are communicating with their landlords. I think the Foschini Group sent a letter to their landlords, and they're like, "We're not going to be able to make rent this month, so how do we meet each other halfway?" So communication is very important.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Cabela's still there. Cabela?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. So just the last one on cash flow.
Yeah, as I said, well, with me, the coupon part, and then with me, the cool part is that everybody in my value chain has closed. So nobody is operating. So we're all in the lockdown, and when it comes to rent, I communicated with my landlord. besides that, everything is, my cash flow is going all right because of that coupon situation I spoke about. But other than that, we need to communicate as businesses to your landlords or whoever you owe, or if you're not going to be able to pay or whatever, just communicate so that you, as soon as you're done with everything, they're going to be able to help you with everything you do.
But I think also, Mashudu, communication is not only for like the landlords as well, but also like Paul alluded to in terms of communicating to your customers. So there was a comment or a question, I think it's Yixin, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly, but around the tourism industry. How does the tourism industry respond in this kind of situation or communicate to its customers? And I think it's a very important topic to touch on, because tourism is about experience. It's about experience. It's about people wanting to, let's say, bungee jump or swim or skate or whatever the case may be. But I think this is now the perfect opportunity for tourism companies to put those videos and images out there so we can live vicariously through this content that they're putting out there. I alluded to LinkedIn. And my brother's like he's a photographer. So obviously for him, the world is also different. But I said to him, it's about communicating your photos, your videos, your content is out there so people can see what you're doing, and even tag the relevant bodies. The South African Tourism Board is very active on LinkedIn. So if you're in the tourism industry and you're struggling during this period, over communicate, and tag these relevant people. So post lockdown, you'll be in a better off position as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. It was really great to have all of you here, to have you be part of this. Just a really great big thank you from me as well as from Yoco. It's really, really amazing having you guys here and just sharing your stories, sharing your solutions, sharing your ideas, and really giving your perspective on what's happening in the world. Thank you so much, and cheers, eh?
Thank you. Bye.
Cool.
Cheers.
For everyone watching, thank you so much for being part of this. So this was our very first experience of this. We didn't know how it was going to work. We tried to make it as engaging as possible. So with Yoco Meets, usually everyone's writing on the board, everyone's chatting to each other, everyone's learning with each other. So we really tried to make it that way. So it's been really great seeing everyone on the side. Just really chatting through different things, learning about different solutions people are applying to their businesses and different thoughts as well. So again, definitely check out the Yoco page. I think next week will be really, really impactful for a lot of you guys, right? So a lot of digital stuff that you should really, really pay attention to. So some of the solutions that the guys are talking about today, so whether it's the gift card stuff and other stuff, it would be really, really, really amazing. Just for you to keep an eye on those pages, because a lot of information is coming out around those things, right? So again, there's a lot of the resources that we had mentioned early on. So stuff like how to get onto the page, the resources and stuff like that. So we're going to do a lot of these, whether it's this format, whether it's the format where we really speak to different entrepreneurs. So we're going to do this every Thursday or Friday, depending on what we choose, and we're going to announce it. So we're going to do another Yoco Meets next week, Thursday or Friday, and also we're going to be doing daily check-ins with small businesses on a daily basis, which is going to be really great. So next week's Yoco Meets is on a Friday. I have an entire team, just by the way, that is all on here. They are the guys that make this all possible, which is amazing. But next week, again, we'll be doing another Yoco Meets on Friday from 6 o'clock. And then we'll be doing small business check-ins on a much regular basis. It might not be daily, but it will be very frequent. So it's been amazing to have you guys here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the polls. We'll try and connect with everyone that was sort of mentioning different things that they'd like to collaborate with Yoco on. And it will be really amazing to connect with you guys and chat to you guys further. Thank you so much for being part of this. It's been a really, really incredible experience. Catch you guys next week for the next edition of Yoco Meets, but also all through during the week and through the other resources that Yoco will be putting up to really enable and empower small businesses during this time. So until next time, stay safe and stay strong, and keep creating. This is awkward silence. I'm waiting for this to end. Cool. Thank you, you guys so much.